how do you get over a manifesting slump? That's exactly what we're talking about today on Mindful Manifesting. You're listening to Aryana Rollins. But before we get into that, if you would like to kickstart your manifestations, I invite you to go to highertrueself.com, Higher, trueself.com, and get your free workbook and meditation. It's something that I use regularly. I've been doing this work for 20 years, and I still go back to that exercise that I show you and I work with clients on. I think you really like it. All right, so as I was thinking today about what I wanted to share with you all, I realized that there were times in my life, and maybe for you as well, where things are going good, you've got synchronistic moments happening, you're thinking about things, and all of a sudden, like the friend calls, or you're looking for a particular desk and a neighbor is getting rid of one. I still am astounded by this one. This was a few years ago. I was looking online and wanted to get one of those lap desks where you can put it over your, if you're sitting on the sofa, and it's made with this beautiful wood, and it's got a drawer, and you can tilt it up. So maybe you want to read in bed or watch a movie or something. And I was researching, and I found them online, Amazon, Facebook Marketplace. I'm like, it's not a high priority right now. It wasn't that much money. It was like $40, $50, but I didn't want to get it. And I kid you not, 2 days after I had done my research and figured out what I wanted to get, a neighbor was getting rid of it and said, "Would you like this?" It was brand new. And it's like one of those moments, and I have so many of those, a lot of times with physical things that just turn up. And sometimes, like this little desk that sits over my lap is way better than anything I even found online. It was just perfect. And that's the way, I don't know if we could call it the quantum field, the universe, your unconscious mind, one or all of the above works. Is when you are clear, like I did the research, right? I knew what I wanted. When you're clear on what it is you want, whether it is a new job, an improvement in your relationship, an improvement in your health, or maybe changing routines, getting new clients, or improving the caliber of your clients, or up-leveling your revenue. I mean, there's all sorts of things. Well, the more clear you are on what you want, which is what that free Kickstart Your Manifestation workbook will help you do, is get that clarity and also help you discern what the timing is for right now. Like, we know if you're in the Western Hemisphere, the Northern Hemisphere, you don't plant a garden in January. You wait till the springtime. Did you know that? It's the same with things you want to create and manifest in your life. There are timings. And a lot of our own life experiences are, we need to do something before we do the next part. And when you're working with the manifesting system strategies, then you know which one is the most important, and that's where you put your energy. And when we are aligned and our energy is clear, we're not dispersed, we're not wondering if the timing's right, we're not wondering if it's something we want or don't want, because sometimes, especially for our big ones, our big manifestations, it's like we don't want to say yes. We hold back because we think, well, what if I put everything into it and it happens and it's not what I wanted? Or what if I put everything into it and then I really have to move and sell my house, but I really like where I live? So those floating thoughts, you're not clear. So working through to get to that clarity is what I love to do with people. But let's get back to this. Overcoming a manifesting slump. So you know me, if you've been listening to the podcast for any length of time, and thank you if you are listening, I so appreciate you, I give you questions to ask yourself. Just some wondering so you can get that clarity. Because if we keep just proceeding in life from the Nike motto, just do it, it can feel as though we are hitting our head up against the wall over and over and over again. And the frustration can mount. Our disappointment and our lack of belief that we can have what we want, or lack of belief in our own manifesting abilities and creatorship can undermine our progress. And probably it's at the core of slumps, when we get into a slump with our manifesting and things are not proceeding in the way that they have in the past. So I'm going to give a little backstory, and then we're going to go into a little exercise. Okay. So I remember most of my life, I seem to have this, I called it my leprechaun ease. My original birth name was Gallagher. And my father came, his family came from Ireland. He was born in London, but his family came from Ireland, of course, Gallagher. And I called it my leprechaun ease. And it was as though there was this grace. I would think about something and it would happen. And I didn't have to work hard. Just life would flow. Then I remember I was in my 40s and I got into what I felt was a relationship of a lifetime. It was someone I'd known 10 years, and we were pursuing the same goals spiritually, had gone through the same group, same course work in metaphysics and spiritual evolution and growth. We were just so aligned, or so I thought. So we were in this relationship, and it was about a year, 6 months to a year in, my life took a downward turn, and what I called my leprechaun ease evaporated. It's like it was gone. And I did not know what was going on. I didn't understand it until many years later. So looking back, if you're looking at and you're in a slump, or maybe you're going to listen to this and a slump will come in the future, I don't know, but maybe my experience and also my skill with getting people into clarity and getting into that manifestation genius zone again, maybe this will help get you back in flow. So the first question to ask yourself if you're in a slump is, what has changed? Has anything changed? Anything changed in your life? Like a new relationship or a new friend? Has there been a shift in your health? Has there been a shift in your work? If you're self-employed, are you doing different programs? You working with different clients? Or if you're employed, has your role or job changed? Or has the company changed? Because, whether we like it or not, we live interconnected with others. Yes, we are individuals. Yes, our mind should be thinking of its own thoughts and have its own trajectory. And our emotional system and our emotional body should be processing our own inner emotions. But we are permeable. We are permeable, and we pick things up from not only from people close to us, but also the outside, the ethers, the collective unconscious. I do believe that part of our evolutionary growth is to not pick up things from the outside, but that's a whole other conversation. So if anything's changed in your environment, in your ecosystem, that can affect you. Going back to the story of the relationship, that person was the love of my life, or so I thought. We were value aligned, or so I thought. So what happened is that, in my case in particular, and it may happen with, especially women, I think we can fall prey to this. Don't know. I think some guys too, especially sensitive ones, we can create a feedback loop with our partner. We could even do it with our job. So if our job is not going as well as it usually does, or if we're being criticized by our boss, or if you're self-employed and you've got clients who are not moving forward and they're projecting frustration and upset upon you during the teachings or the sessions, I know you've been there. You can start to doubt yourself. And if we think back on the times in our life where we don't feel in flow, we're not in what I call that leprechaun ease, we're not in our manifesting zone, it's often because we are trusting someone or something, something in our environment more than we're trusting ourselves. Beginning, middle, and end. That's what will mess with your manifesting abilities. That's what will trigger a slump. So being congruent in yourself, being aligned with who you are, knowing your values, knowing where you're going, have clarity in what you want, and staying on track with that, that's a skill. Most of us are going to get thrown off once, twice, 10 times in our life. And it's not a matter of getting thrown off. We don't need to be like little Buddha heads here or Eckhart Tolle's. No, it's how quickly do you recognize that you're off track? How quickly do you course correct? Think about it like this. You know, most commercial jet planes and airliners have pilots, obviously, but then they have an autopilot. They have a computerized pilot that the pilot will put in the coordinates of where they're traveling to, the city, the state, the location, or the country. And a lot of the time, I don't even know how much of the time of the flight is going to be managed by the co-pilot, by that autopilot. Maybe not co-pilot, autopilot. So it's going to be doing these micro adjustments, these subtle coordination corrections so that you get to your destination on time. And then the pilot is going to be reviewing them. And it's going to be making sure that everything's on track and will be taking off with the plane, landing the plane, and those things that only a human can do. So where is your autopilot tuned to? Where are you at an unconscious level programmed to go to? Oh, this gets really big, guys, really big. So for example, let's talk about health just briefly. If you have a family health history, genetics, for example, of cancer, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and that just runs in your family, diabetes, and maybe you're 40 years old, 50 years old, and you go for your blood check, and your doctor says, whoa, your blood sugar is way off, you are pre-diabetic, and if you don't change some things, you're going to be diabetic. You walk out of the doctor's office and you say, hopefully you don't say this, I really hope you don't say this, oh well, it's in my family genes. Nothing I can do. I can't avoid it. We all get diabetes. And anyway, most people as they age get diabetes. The doctor will handle it. Okay. So if we allow the internal autopilot, which is our history of our family's health, our history in our jobs, our history in our work, as our self-employed passion, if we allow our history to be the autopilot, if we allow our history to dictate where we're going next, where do you think you're going to end up? It's not likely what you want to manifest today, because no one wants to manifest a health condition, relationship conflicts, financial challenges, a loss of revenue in their business. No one wants to manifest that. But if they are, If they're in a manifestation slump, then something else is driving the plane. Something else is driving your life. And I liken it to the programs in our unconscious mind. This is deep, deep, deep. If this is resonating with you, I strongly, strongly, excitedly invite you to go get that Kickstart Your Manifestation, because you're going to really look at manifesting differently, and hopefully it's going to get you out of the slump. And if you'd like to have a conversation with me, you'll get on my email list, which is super important because then you'll know what's coming up. We've got some wonderful offers coming up over this last quarter of the year and some freebies, and I'd love for you to be engaged. So go to highertrueself.com and grab your Kickstart Your Manifestation. All right, as we wrap up, and a lot of these shows highlight different pieces of this, different aspects of this. When we confirm ourselves, remember this, when we confirm ourselves, we chart our own path to success. It's great to have an autopilot. Our unconscious mind is that autopilot. Brilliant. We couldn't drive a car if we didn't have that. But we want to be the pilot. We want to be the driver. Thanks so much for listening. I really appreciate you. Have a wonderful rest of your day. So much love. Bye for now.